Ever look at a brand new game and think, why does this still not look as good as something I played a decade ago? Yeah, same here. So today we're jumping into 10 classic games that still look better than modern games in 2025. And trust me, some of these will have you questioning if graphics have really come that far. Let's get into it. Ever play a game that makes you feel like you're right in the middle of an ancient war movie, but you're the one swinging the sword? Ryse Son of Rome does exactly that. It throws you into this brutal cinematic version of the Roman Empire, where you're not just watching history, you're fighting your way through it. You play as a Roman soldier cutting through enemies in these intense, up-close battles that feel more about rhythm and timing than button mashing. The visuals still hold up like crazy, from the golden glow of torches bouncing off armor to huge battlefields packed with chaos and detail. It's not an open world or anything, but the way each level is built keeps the pace moving and the action tight. What really stands out is how smooth everything feels. 1 minute you're blocking with your shield, the next you're triggering a slow-motion finish that looks straight out of a movie scene. If you're into games that go heavy on atmosphere, clean combat, and straight-up epic vibes, Ryse is one of those underrated gems that's totally worth revisiting. Ever had a game mess with your head in the best possible way? Like you're not sure if you're in a nightmare or just stuck in one wild story that won't let go. That's exactly the vibe Alan Wake gives off. You play as a writer caught in this creepy little mountain town where things feel just a little too quiet. Until they're not. The game throws you into this eerie world where light is your only real weapon and shadows are way more dangerous than they should be. It's part thriller, part action, and part what the heck is going on, and that mix just works. You're using a flashlight and whatever you can find to fight off these dark, twisted enemies that come at you out of nowhere, all while piecing together this mystery that's somehow tied to your own writing. The pacing keeps you hooked, the tension never really lets up, and the whole atmosphere, fog, forests, flickering lights, just pulls you deeper and deeper in. It's not about jump scares, it's about the slow, creeping dread that makes you want to keep going, even when you know something's probably waiting around the next corner. But if you're into story-driven games that keep your heart rate up and your brain working overtime, Alan Wake is an experience you don't want to miss.
That was just messed up. Something tells me I'm really gonna need the extra firepower.
You ever boot up an old game and instantly remember why it blew your mind back then? That's exactly what happens when you dive back into God of War from 2005. It drops you into this wild, rage-fueled journey through ancient mythology, where every step feels like you're tearing through legend with pure muscle and grit. The combat is fast, raw, and just straight-up fun. You're chaining together brutal attacks, flipping through the air, and absolutely wrecking everything in your path with those iconic chained blades. The game isn't just about smashing buttons, though. It throws in puzzles, platforming, and some seriously epic moments that still hold up even now. The world feels massive and dangerous, like you're constantly trespassing in the realm of angry gods and monsters, and the scale of some of the boss fights still catches you off guard. It's got that old school charm, but with a kind of confidence that makes it feel timeless. If you've never played it, or it's been a while, it's 100% worth jumping back in. Because this one isn't just a classic, it's a straight-up cornerstone of action gaming. You know that feeling when a game just completely pulls you into its world, and for a second you forget you're even playing? That's the magic of BioShock. From the second you crash into the ocean and swim toward that eerie lighthouse, you know you're in for something different. Then you descend into this underwater city where everything's gone horribly wrong, and it's absolutely fascinating. The atmosphere is thick with tension, the art style is unforgettable, and the way the story slowly unravels as you explore, makes it feel like you're living through a mystery instead of just watching one. The gameplay mixes up traditional shooting with these wild powers that let you shock enemies, freeze them, or even send a swarm of insects after them. And yeah, it sounds crazy, but somehow it all just works. What really sticks with you, though, is how the game makes you question what you're doing and why, all while throwing you into these beautiful, decaying environments that feel like a dream and a nightmare at the same time. It's one of those games that leaves a mark, and if you've never played it, you're honestly missing out on one of the most unique experiences gaming has ever pulled off. Ever play a game where your choices actually feel like they matter? Not just in big story moments, but in how the whole world reacts to you? That's what makes Fable II such a cool experience. You start out as this scrappy kid with nothing, and over time, you shape who you become. A noble hero, a total menace, or something in between, and the world shifts with you. The vibe is this perfect mix of fairy tale charm and rough-edged adventure, with towns full of quirky characters, spooky forests, and secrets tucked into every corner. Combat's simple but fun, and switching between swordplay, magic, and ranged attacks on the fly feels super smooth. And yeah, your character literally changes based on how you play. Not just morally, but in how they look, how people talk to you, and even how your dog responds. There's something about the freedom in this game that just feels ahead of its time, like you're writing your own little legend one decision at a time. It's not about perfect mechanics. It's about immersion, personality, and how much you end up caring about the world around you. If you missed it back then, it's absolutely worth going back now, because Fable II still hits in a way a lot of newer games just don't.
I love you more than words can tell.
Remember when people used to ask, yeah, but can it run Crysis? And they weren't joking? That's because this game wasn't just pushing boundaries, it was practically rewriting them. Crysis dropped players onto this massive tropical island where everything looked insanely real, even by today's standards, and then handed you a high-tech suit that made you feel like a one-man army. You're sneaking through jungles, cloaking yourself like a ghost, then flipping the switch to full armor and bulldozing through squads like it's nothing. The cool part is how the game lets you tackle each situation your own way. Go loud, stay hidden, pick off enemies from afar, or just punch a truck into a guy. And yeah, the story takes some wild turns, but it's really the freedom, the physics, and that do-it-your-way energy that makes it stand out. Even years later, diving back into Crysis still feels like a flex. It's not just a shooter, it's a playground for anyone who loves experimenting with how they take down their enemies. And that kind of design never gets old.
Something.
You ever jump into a game where the first time you take cover behind a crumbling wall and hear bullets tearing past your head, you feel the weight of the world around you? That's exactly the vibe Gears of War throws at you from the start. It's gritty, loud, and unapologetically intense. But what makes it special isn't just the over-the-top action. It's how grounded everything feels. You're part of this brutal, war-torn world, where every step forward feels earned. Every enemy encounter is a full-on brawl, and teamwork isn't just an option. It's baked into the way the whole game flows. The cover system totally changed how shooters worked back then, letting you duck, roll, flank, and pop shots in ways that felt way more tactical than the usual run and gun. And yeah, the chainsaw bayonet's as wild as you remember, messy, loud, and insanely satisfying. But there's also this weird beauty to the world, all cracked cities and ash-covered streets, where you can tell something great used to exist before everything fell apart. It's brutal, but memorable, stylish, but grounded, and honestly still delivers that punch today. If you want to know where modern third-person shooters took their cues from, Gears of War is the one that set the tone. Ever played a game where walking down a dark hallway makes your palms sweat, not because something's chasing you, but because you know something's about to? That's the kind of tension Doom 3 throws at you, and it does it in the best possible way. Instead of just running and gunning like the older entries, this one slows things down. Not too much, just enough to crank the atmosphere all the way up. You're stuck deep inside this high-tech Mars facility that's gone totally off the rails, and every corridor feels like it's daring you to take one more step. It's dark, like flashlight in your teeth, hear every creak kind of dark, and the game uses that to build legit dread. The enemies don't just pop out, they explode into view with all the subtlety of a nightmare. And the weapons, classic punchy and straight up fun to use. There's a rhythm to the combat that keeps you alert, like you're always one wrong move away from being toast. What makes it memorable though is how it blends that old school shooter energy with just enough horror to keep you on edge. It's not just about blasting demons, it's about surviving the slow claustrophobic crawl through a place that feels like it's trying to swallow you whole. Ever play a stealth game so tense that you find yourself holding your breath every time you sneak past a guard? That's Splinter Cell chaos theory in a nutshell. It's that perfect blend of pressure and precision where every shadow feels like a safe haven and every footstep could blow your cover. You're not running in guns blazing here, you're a ghost, moving through enemy territory with nothing but your gadgets, your instincts, and the glow of your night vision goggles. The levels are smartly designed, giving you tons of freedom in how you approach each mission. Crawl through vents, shimmy along ledges, or drop down behind an enemy and decide whether to knock them out or slip by unnoticed. The lighting, the sound design, the way the AI reacts when you make a mistake, it all adds up to this immersive, edge-of-your-seat experience where silence really is your best weapon. And let's be real, there's just something cool about listening in on conversations from the shadows while the world has no idea you're even there. Chaos Theory isn't just a great stealth game, it's the stealth game that nailed atmosphere, tension, and tactical choice before most others even figured out how to try.
It doesn't sound too good down there, Fisher.
The sound isn't the problem. You should smell it.
You're sure he's dead?
Deader than Elvis.
All right. Leave the body. We still need to recover any traces of the interrogation. Grim will call you back.
I already...
You ever jump into a game expecting swords and spells but walk away completely hooked by the choices and consequences instead? That's The Witcher 2, Assassins of Kings for you, a gritty, story-rich RPG where every decision you make actually changes how the whole thing plays out. You step into the boots of Geralt, this grizzled monster hunter with a sharp tongue and even sharper blades, navigating a world that's as morally messy as it is visually stunning. The combat hits hard and demands timing, mixing up quick strikes, magic signs, and strategic dodging, all while armored enemies try to wreck your day. But what really sets it apart is how grown up everything feels. Not just in the tone, but in the way the game trusts you to figure things out, weigh your options, and live with what comes next. One mission might have you creeping through a burning village, the next dropping you into political chaos where everyone's got an agenda. It's not hand-holdy, it's not black and white, it's you making calls and owning them. And honestly, even years later, it still looks and plays like a game that's punching way above its weight. If you want an RPG that respects your brain and still gives you monsters to slay, Witcher 2 absolutely delivers. And that's a wrap. Hope you had as much fun revisiting these gems as I did putting together this list of 10 classic games that still look better than half the stuff dropping in 2025. It's wild how some of these older titles still hold up like they've got something to prove. Anyway, if you enjoyed hanging out, Feel free to drop a like, toss your favorite pick in the comments, or sub if you want more videos like this popping up in your feed. No pressure, just good vibes. Appreciate you watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.